In 100 years of filmmaking, it's crazy to think that all we need is an iPhone, a decent lens, a decent microphone, and a couple of lights, and we got ourselves a movie. What's up, guys? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of High Flying Bird, the newest film from director Steven Soderbergh. Stars André, Holland, Bill Duke, Zazie Beetz, Melvin, Gregg, and Kyle MacLachlan. So the idea behind High Flying Bird is this: take the NBA, take any sporting event, the NFL, the NHL. Let's say they have a long and gestated lockout. Nobody's making any money. The teams can't decide on what they want. They don't know how to pay players. And let's talk about what happens when the agents and the firms have to deal with that situation. What do they do? Well, Andre Holland, who plays Roy Burke in this situation, he is a sports agent for this character played by Melvin Gregg, who plays Eric Scott. And they have to, within the next 72 hours, try and figure out how to keep the relationship with the firm that Roy Burke is working for. And so he develops this concoction of an idea of what to do, but the problem is the firm doesn't believe in him, even though he's a talented agent. And he just has to keep everything in check because Eric Scott is created this Twitter storm with this other character, with other NBA player, back and forth. So he has to keep it in line. If you ever seen like Draft Day, you kind of know what's going on with this situation where people do stupid things when they're not supposed to. And he has kind of a confidant in a character played by Zazie Beetz, who plays Sam. And she was once his secretary, but she's moved on. There's a running joke in the movie about that. And he has to, between his agency and his life, he just has to figure out what to do and how to plan a situation out. And he has a mentor in this character played by Bill Duke, whose name's Spence, who has to he confides in him. Spence runs this like league, basketball league, where every year some NBA players come because it's a really famous, inner city school league that helps inner cities kids who don't have a lot of poverty level and so on and so forth. And this movie is it's an interesting, fascinating take of the behind the scenes situation when stuff like this occurs, and you see these characters play out, and it's just an interesting take on the whole idea of it. We had Jerry Maguire, which is more of a flashy, upscale version of these types of movies, but this movie is, like I said, it's directed by Steven Soderbergh, so we got an interesting take. Steven Soderbergh is one of those guys that likes to delve into the deep of the matter, the heart of the matter. He likes to break down the social norms of the matter. And the fact that he's got this type of cast and how they're dealing with also racism because most of the NBA owners are white and so on and so forth, which is not necessarily true in the real scheme of things. Whether it might be or not, I don't know. But it's just interesting to see the lower level agents try to keep everything calm. And it's interesting to see Steven Soderbergh, who has dealt with situations like this before. Even in Ocean's 11, he's dealing with people trying to take down the system. And it's just a fascinating movie. It's not really a fun movie. It's a really dark comedic movie. But it's just interesting to see what's going on here. You got the writer of Moonlight, Jarrell Alvin McCartney. If I mispronounce, I apologize. And if you've ever seen Moonlight, it's the same scenario where people outside of the norm of society are just, they're deconstructed in a way that, kind of makes you wonder about things. And like I said, what Roy Burke is doing, what Andre Holland is doing is trying to fix the situation, and how it plays out with between him and his, agents. Zachary Quinto plays like, I think, his boss or something like that. And then you have, Kyle MacLachlan's in this as kind of like the in-between. It's just a fascinating take on a story like this, and I really enjoyed it. It's not really well received with people because they wanted basketball story, but you have stuff like Hoosiers, you have stuff like Blue Chips, you have all these movies. If you're looking for that type of thing, that's not what this is, and I didn't expect it to be. I expected it to be like a deconstruction. You see it with a lot of Steven Soderbergh's movies. And the one thing that is most astonishing about this, and was with this last movie, Unsane, is he shot this all on an iPhone. The last Unsane was filmed, I think, on an iPhone 7. This is an iPhone 8. He used an anamorphic lens. I think it's like $150 or something like that. And of course, he used the sound and lighting to give it a movie quality look. But he has found a way to create digital filmmaking on an iPhone, which is not necessarily new. The fact that an iPhone has gotten so powerful, or just a cell phone in general has gotten so powerful because you can use it on other phones, it's insane. This movie is just insane to look at because you could almost swear this is filmed on a digital camera. And that's what an iPhone kind of is, a digital camera now. And the fact that, you can get the iPhone up and close and personal with people, you can get it like right on their face, you can get it real close to them. It's really kind of interesting and fascinating to watch because that's what Steven Soderbergh is known for doing. He's known for just getting into the people's heads, getting into the characters' emotions. And what better way to do that is to get right up in their face and just, the way he's following them around. I mean, I'm assuming they attached an iPhone to a Steadicam, a small Steadicam, and moved it around, because when they're shooting a scene where Bill Duke and André Holland are talking to each other, and it's really fascinating. It's really an interesting thing. And there's one scene in this movie where, they're waiting for the Eric Scott character to show up to talk to the young kids, and André Holland has to go out there and stall, and he gives this really amazing speech, and it's one of my favorite speeches of the year so far, that just breaks down what it's like to, get into this type of business or profession and so on and so forth. So it's an interesting movie, but like I said, it's not the most fun, energetic movie in the world, but it's a fascinating look at sports agency and the inner workings of it. And it's really good. Bill Duke's really good in this movie, as he usually is. So, but there you go. That's going to be my take on High Flying Bird. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you like what you see, remember to rate, subscribe, check out the YouTube channel, Facebook, and Twitter. Email nlapola113@gmail.com if you have any questions. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this movie if you watched it. Let me know what your favorite sports movie is. I'd be interested to know. But otherwise, we'll see you guys in the next video.